The Alpha's Forbidden Mate, Complete Story. Part 1, The Unwanted Bride. The Debt That Changed Everything. Luna stood in the rain outside her father's office, her hands trembling as she pressed against the wooden door. Inside, she could hear voices raised in argument. "There's no other way," her father said, his voice breaking. "The Silver Moon Pack will destroy us if we don't pay the debt by the full moon." "So you'll sell your daughter?" her mother cried. "Luna is not a bargaining chip." Luna's heart dropped. She pushed the door open, water dripping from her dark hair. "What's happening?" Her father, Alpha Marcus of the Crimson Dawn Pack, looked up with tired eyes. He had aged 10 years in the past month. "Luna, my dear. I'm so sorry." "Father, what have you done?" He couldn't meet her eyes. "The Silver Moon Pack demanded payment. 5 years ago, I borrowed money to save our territory from rogues. Now Alpha Kirin demands repayment, but we have nothing left. He's agreed to cancel the debt if you become his contracted mate." The room spun around Luna. "You sold me?" "It's only for 1 year," her father said quickly. "A contract marriage. After that, you can come home. Please, Luna. It's our only hope." Luna looked at her mother, who was crying silently. She looked at her younger brother peeking through the doorway, his eyes wide with fear. She thought of the 100 families in their small pack who would be destroyed if the Silver Moon Pack attacked. "I'll do it," she whispered. "But I'll never forgive you for this." Arrival at Silver Moon Territory. 3 days later, Luna arrived at the Silver Moon Pack house. It was massive, built of stone and dark wood, rising from the forest like a fortress. Guards stood at every entrance, their eyes cold and watchful. A stern woman with gray hair met her at the door. "I am Helen, the head housekeeper. Follow me." Luna followed her through corridors filled with expensive artwork and thick carpets. Everything screamed power and wealth. Her small pack's entire territory could fit in this building. "You'll stay in the East Wing," Helen said. "Alpha Kirin has made it clear this is a business arrangement. You are not to disturb him unless called for official duties." "Where is he?" Luna asked. "The Alpha doesn't waste time on formalities. You'll meet him tonight at dinner. Wear something appropriate." Helen's eyes swept over Luna's simple dress with disapproval. Left alone in her room, Luna stood by the window. The room was beautiful but felt like a cage. She was a prisoner in a gilded cell, sold like property to a man she'd never met. The cold Alpha King. Dinner was a silent affair. The dining room could seat 50 people, but only 2 places were set at opposite ends of a long table. Alpha Kirin entered like a storm. He was tall and powerfully built, with dark hair and eyes the color of winter ice. His face was handsome but hard, carved from stone. He wore authority like a cloak. He didn't look at her as he sat down. Servants brought food, and they ate in silence for 10 minutes. Finally, Luna couldn't take it anymore. "Are you going to ignore me for the entire year?" His cold eyes lifted to her face. "I don't recall giving you permission to speak." Luna's hands clenched under the table. "I'm not your servant. I'm your contracted mate. You're a debt payment," he said flatly. "Nothing more. I needed a mate for political reasons. The council demands it. You needed your family's debt cleared. This is a transaction." "Then why me specifically?" "You could have chosen anyone." For the first time, something flickered in his eyes. "Your bloodline carries the ancient healing gift. It's rare and potentially useful." "I don't have any healing powers," Luna said. "Then you're even less valuable than I thought." He stood up. "I have work to do. You'll attend pack functions with me when required. Otherwise, stay out of my way." He left her sitting alone at the massive table, fury and humiliation burning in her chest. The cruel reality. The next weeks were torture. Kirin ignored her completely except when they had to appear together at pack meetings. He introduced her as the contracted mate with no warmth in his voice. The pack members whispered behind her back. Some pitied her. Others mocked her. A few women who clearly had their eyes on Kieran were openly hostile. One woman in particular, Victoria, went out of her way to make Luna's life miserable. She was beautiful, confident, and clearly believed she should have been Luna's place. "Everyone knows you're just temporary," Victoria said one day in front of a crowd. "Alpha Kieran will never truly bond with someone like you. You're just a placeholder until he finds a real mate." Luna held her head high. "If I'm so insignificant, why do you spend so much time talking about me?" Victoria's eyes flashed with anger. "You think you're clever? You're nothing. A debt payment. Used goods." "That's enough, Victoria," a male voice said. Luna turned to see Beta Sebastian, Kieran's second in command. He was handsome with warm brown eyes and a kind smile. "Alpha Kieran wouldn't appreciate you disrespecting his mate, contracted or not," Sebastian said firmly. Victoria left with an angry huff, and Sebastian turned to Luna. "Don't let her get to you. She's been trying to catch Kieran's attention for years." "Thank you," Luna said. "But she's not wrong. I am just temporary." Sebastian studied her with curious eyes. "Maybe. But I've known Kieran for 15 years. He's never brought any woman here before. There must be a reason he chose you." Discovering the truth. Luna couldn't sleep that night. She wandered the packhouse halls, exploring the massive building. She heard voices coming from Kieran's office and crept closer. "The curse is getting worse," Sebastian's voice said. "How much longer can you hide it?" "As long as necessary," Kieran replied, his voice strained. "No one can know. You need help. Maybe Luna." "No. She knows nothing about the curse, and it stays that way. I won't burden anyone else with this darkness." Luna's heart pounded. "What curse?" "She has the healing bloodline," Sebastian argued. "She might be able to. She said herself she has no powers." "I was wrong about her. Just another disappointment." The word stung, but Luna pushed the pain aside. She hurried back to her room, her mind racing. Kieran was cursed. That's why he was so cold, so distant. That's why he needed a mate with healing blood. She spent the next day in the pack's library, searching for information about curses. Most books were useless, but finally, she found an old journal written by a previous pack healer. "The shadow curse," she read aloud. "Placed on an alpha who kills his own father, even in rightful challenge. The darkness grows inside, consuming the wolf spirit until nothing remains but rage and death. Only true love's sacrifice can break it." Her hands shook. Kieran had killed his father. That much was known. But no one mentioned a curse. She read further. "The cursed alpha will push away all who care for him, believing he protects them. But isolation only feeds the darkness. Without connection, without love, the curse will claim him completely within 1 year of activation." Luna did the math. Kieran's father died 11 months ago. He had 1 month left. The attack that changed things. The next evening, Luna was walking in the garden when screams erupted from the packhouse. Rogues had breached the territory, attacking in organized groups. Chaos exploded. Pack warriors rushed to defend their home. Luna ran toward the packhouse to help evacuate the children and elderly. She found Kieran in the main courtyard, fighting 3 rogues at once. His movements were savage, powerful, but she saw it, the darkness in his eyes. The curse was taking hold. One rogue broke away and charged toward a group of children frozen in fear. Without thinking, Luna threw herself between them and the attacker. The rogue's claws slashed across her shoulder. Pain exploded through her body. She fell to the ground, gasping. Suddenly, Kieran was there. He killed the rogue with one vicious strike, then dropped to his knees beside her. "Luna." His voice cracked. It was the first time he'd said her name with any emotion. "The children," she gasped. "Get them to safety." "Sebastian, handle the evacuation," Kieran ordered. Then he lifted Luna in his arms, carrying her inside. In his private quarters, he laid her on his bed, the first time she'd been allowed in his personal space. His hands were shaking as he examined her wound. "This is deep. You need a healer." "I'll be fine," Luna said through gritted teeth. "It's just a scratch." "You almost died." He turned away, his hands clenched into fists. "You stupid, foolish girl. Why would you risk yourself for children you barely know?" "Because that's what people do," Luna said. "They protect each other. They care. Maybe that's something you've forgotten." He spun back to face her, and for the first time, she saw past his mask. She saw fear, pain, and desperate loneliness. "I haven't forgotten," he said quietly. "I just can't afford to care. Everyone I've ever cared about ends up hurt or dead." "That's not true. My mother died when I was young. My father became a tyrant who beat me and terrorized the pack. When I finally challenged him, I had no choice but to kill him. My younger sister died in a rogue attack 6 months later. Everyone I love dies, Luna. That's why I can't." He stopped himself. "Can't what?" He turned away. "Nothing. I'll send the pack healer." But as he reached the door, Luna's wound suddenly blazed with white light. Both of them froze as her shoulder healed itself, the torn flesh knitting together before their eyes. The light faded. Luna stared at her shoulder in shock. There wasn't even a scar. "You do have the healing gift," Kieran whispered. It awakened. Their eyes met across the room, and something shifted between them. Something that felt dangerous and inevitable. A dangerous connection. After that night, everything changed. Kieran didn't exactly become warm, but he stopped avoiding her completely. He began joining her for breakfast. Their conversations were still guarded, but occasionally, she glimpsed the man beneath the armor. One morning, she found him in the garden staring at a rose bush. "My mother planted this," he said without looking at her. "She loved roses. Red ones especially." Luna stood beside him. "Tell me about her." "She was kind. Too kind for an alpha's mate. She believed in love and hope and all the things this world crushes." His voice was hollow. "My father destroyed her spirit long before her illness took her body." "I'm sorry." "Don't be. It taught me an important lesson. Love is weakness. Caring makes you vulnerable. Or maybe," Luna said softly, "it makes you human." He looked at her then, really looked at her. "Why aren't you afraid of me?" "Should I be?" "Everyone else is." "Everyone else doesn't see you," Luna said. "They see the alpha, the king, the curse. I see a man who's so afraid of losing people that he pushes them away first." Kieran's jaw clenched. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Don't I?" She stepped closer. "I read about the shadow curse, Kieran. I know what's happening to you. I know you have less than a month left." His eyes flashed dangerously. "Stay out of it." "No. This isn't your concern. You made it my concern when you brought me here." Luna shouted back. "You wanted my healing bloodline? Fine. Let me try to help you." "You can't help me," he said, but his voice cracked. "No one can. How do you know if you won't even try?" They stood inches apart, both breathing hard. The air between them crackled with tension. "You should hate me," Kieran said quietly. "I bought you like property. I've treated you like you're nothing. Why would you want to help me?" Luna met his icy blue eyes. "Because despite everything, I see the good man you're trying so hard to hide. And maybe because I'm tired of both of us being alone." Something broke in Kieran's expression. For just a moment, his carefully constructed walls crumbled, and she saw raw need, desperate hope, and bone-deep exhaustion. Then he turned away. It's too dangerous. The curse feeds on connection. If you get close to me, it will hurt you too. Then we'll fight it together. Luna. I'm not asking for permission, Kieran. I'm telling you. Whether you like it or not, you're stuck with me for 11 more months. We might as well make the best of it. Despite himself, the corner of his mouth twitched. Almost a smile. You're incredibly stubborn. So I've been told. He turned back to her, and this time, when their eyes met, something passed between them. Understanding. Recognition. The beginning of something that felt like hope. If we do this, Kieran said slowly, if I let you try to help me, you need to understand the risk. The curse will fight back. It will try to turn me against you. There will be moments when I'm not myself, when the darkness takes over. I understand. No, you don't. He stepped closer, his voice intense. I might hurt you, Luna. Not because I want to, but because the curse will use me. Are you really willing to risk that? Luna thought of her family, her destroyed pack, the life she'd lost. She thought of Kieran, alone in his fortress, slowly dying because he was too afraid to let anyone in. Yes, she said firmly. I'm willing to risk it. Kieran studied her for a long moment. Then slowly, carefully, he reached out and took her hand. His skin was warm, his grip strong but gentle. Then we fight, he said. Together. As the sun set over the silver moon territory, Luna felt something shift in the universe. This was no longer just a business arrangement. This was a battle for both their souls, and she was determined to win. Part 2, Shadows of the Past. The curse grows stronger. The next morning, Luna found Kieran in his private training room, shirtless and covered in sweat. But it wasn't normal training. He was fighting against invisible enemies, his movements jerky and uncontrolled. Kieran, she called softly. He spun toward her, and her breath caught. His eyes were completely black, no trace of blue remaining. Dark veins spread across his chest like poison. Get out, he growled, his voice distorted. I'm not leaving you. I said get out. He grabbed a training sword and threw it. The blade embedded in the wall inches from her head. Luna's heart pounded, but she didn't run. Instead, she stepped closer. Kieran, listen to my voice. Come back. Fight it. Can't, too strong. His body convulsed. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. Luna rushed to him, placing her hands on his shoulders. Immediately, her healing gift activated. White light flowed from her palms into his body, pushing back the darkness. Kieran screamed. It sounded like both pain and relief. The black slowly receded from his eyes, the veins fading back into his skin. Finally, he collapsed forward, breathing hard. His eyes were blue again. Luna, he whispered. I could have killed you. But you didn't. She helped him sit up. Your curse is stronger in the mornings, isn't it? He nodded weakly. It's getting worse. Soon, I won't be able to fight it off at all. Then we need to work faster. Tell me everything. How did the curse start? The painful truth. That evening, Kieran took Luna to a secret room hidden behind his office. Inside were journals, old books, and magical artifacts. My father was possessed by dark magic, Kieran began, his voice hollow. For years, I didn't realize it. I thought he was just cruel and violent. But the truth was worse. A dark witch had cursed him, slowly driving him insane. Luna listened carefully as he continued. When I finally discovered the truth, it was too late. The possession was complete. The only way to save the pack was to kill him in an alpha challenge. But killing your own father, even to save lives, comes with a price. The shadow curse, Luna said. Kieran nodded. The same dark witch who cursed my father placed this on me. She said I would suffer the same fate, slowly losing my humanity until I became the monster I killed. Who is this witch? Why does she hate your family? Her name is Morgana. And 30 years ago, my father rejected her as his mate to marry my mother for political alliance. She's been destroying my family ever since. Luna's mind raced. If she casts the curse, maybe she can break it. She'll never agree. She wants me to suffer. Then we'll find another way. Luna pulled out one of the old books. There has to be something in here. They spent hours researching together. For the first time, Kieran seemed almost relaxed, working beside her in comfortable silence. Sometimes their hands would brush as they reached for the same book, and Luna felt electricity spark between them. Why are you doing this? Kieran asked suddenly. Really? You could just wait out the contract and go home. Luna looked at him, at the exhaustion in his eyes and the faint hope he was trying to hide. Because you deserve to be saved. And because. She hesitated. Because I'm starting to care about you. The confession hung in the air between them. You shouldn't, Kieran said quietly. Caring about me only brings pain. Maybe I'm willing to take that risk. He reached out and gently touched her face. You're either very brave or very foolish. Probably both. For a moment, Luna thought he might kiss her. But then he pulled away, the walls slamming back into place. It's late. You should rest. Disappointed but not surprised, Luna left him alone with his demons. The betrayal revealed. The next day, Victoria approached Luna in the garden. Her usual hostility was replaced by something that looked almost like concern. I need to talk to you, Victoria said urgently. About Kieran. What about him? Victoria glanced around nervously. Not here. Meet me in the East Forest at midnight. Come alone. Every instinct told Luna this was a trap. But if Victoria knew something about the curse, she had to take the risk. At midnight, Luna slipped into the forest. She found Victoria waiting in a clearing, but she wasn't alone. A hooded figure stood beside her. Luna, how nice of you to come, the figure said, pulling back her hood. She was beautiful in a terrible way, with silver hair and eyes like black holes. Power radiated from her like heat. Morgana, Luna whispered. The Dark Witch smiled. Victoria has been very helpful in luring you here. Haven't you, dear? Victoria's face twisted with jealousy and malice. I should have been his mate. Not you. Not some worthless debt payment. You betrayed your own pack? Luna couldn't believe it. I'm saving my pack, Victoria hissed. Once Kieran falls to the curse, the pack will need a new alpha. My father will challenge for leadership. And I'll be his Luna. Morgana laughed. Humans are so predictably selfish. Now, Luna, let's talk about your gift. Dark magic swirled around Luna, binding her in place. She tried to summon her healing power, but Morgana's magic suppressed it. Your healing bloodline is rare, Morgana said, circling her like a predator. It's the only thing that could break my curse. That's why Kieran really brought you here, not for politics, but as a potential cure. He didn't know I had powers, Luna said through gritted teeth. Are you sure? Or did he lie to you like he lies to everyone? Doubt crept into Luna's mind. Had Kieran known all along? Was everything between them just manipulation? It doesn't matter now, Morgana continued. Because I'm going to take your power for myself. And then Kieran will watch everyone he loves die before the curse consumes him completely. Morgana raised her hands, dark magic gathering. Luna braced herself for pain, but suddenly, a massive black wolf burst into the clearing. Kieran. He transformed mid-leap, landing between Luna and Morgana. His eyes blazed with protective fury. Touch her and die, he snarled. Morgana laughed. Oh, how sweet. The cursed alpha has found something to care about. This will make breaking you so much more satisfying. She unleashed her dark magic at Kieran. He dodged, moving with inhuman speed, but the curse made him vulnerable. The dark magic wrapped around him, and he screamed as the shadow curse surged in response. Kieran! Luna fought against her magical bindings. Victoria grabbed Luna's arm. Watch your precious alpha fall. Watch him become the monster he was always meant to be. But Victoria made a mistake. She touched Luna's skin directly. Luna's healing power erupted in self-defense. White light exploded outward, breaking Morgana's binding spell and throwing Victoria backward. Free, Luna ran to Kieran. He was on his knees, fighting the curse's darkness. His eyes flickered between blue and black. Luna, run. He gasped. Never. She placed her hands on his chest, pouring her healing energy into him. But this time was different. She didn't just push back the darkness, she dove into it, following the curse to its source. Inside Kieran's mind was a nightmare. She saw his memories, his father's brutal beatings, his mother dying, his sister's death, the moment he killed his possessed father. Every trauma, every loss, every reason he'd locked his heart away. The shadow curse fed on these dark memories, growing stronger from his pain. But Luna also saw other memories. Kieran teaching his sister to ride a horse. His mother singing lullabies. Moments of laughter with Sebastian. And recent memories, Luna arguing with him at dinner, Luna defending the children, Luna researching beside him late at night. You're not just darkness, Luna whispered. You're also light. You've just forgotten. She showed him her own memories. Growing up loved despite her family's poverty. The joy of simple things. Hope for tomorrow. Slowly, the curse loosened its grip. Kieran's eyes cleared. But Morgana wasn't finished. How touching. But it won't save you. She gathered all her dark magic for a killing blow aimed at Luna. Kieran moved without thinking. He threw himself in front of Luna, taking the full force of Morgana's attack. No. Luna screamed as Kieran collapsed. The power of love. Kieran lay dying in Luna's arms. The dark magic was consuming him from the inside, accelerating the curse. His skin was turning gray, his breathing shallow. Don't you die on me, Luna cried. Don't you dare give up. Luna. His voice was barely a whisper. I'm sorry. For everything. For buying you, for using you, for not telling you the truth about the curse. Stop apologizing and fight. I can't. It's too late. It's not too late. Tears streamed down Luna's face. You saved me. Let me save you. She pressed her forehead to his. I love you, you stubborn, broken, beautiful man. I love you. Do you hear me? I love you. Her healing power exploded with her confession. But this time it was different. It wasn't just healing energy, it was pure love, raw and absolute. The white light engulfed them both. Luna poured everything she had into Kieran, all her healing energy, all her hope, all her love. No. Morgana shrieked. This isn't possible. Love can't break a shadow curse. But she was wrong. The curse was designed to feed on isolation and darkness. Love was its natural opposite. Inside Kieran's mind, Luna found the curse's core, a black sphere of concentrated hate and pain. She wrapped it in her light, in her love, and squeezed. The sphere cracked. Then shattered. The shadow curse exploded outward in a wave of dark smoke. Luna held on to Kieran as the darkness fled his body, screaming as it died. When the light faded, they lay together in the grass, both exhausted. But Kieran's eyes were clear blue, his skin returned to its healthy color. The dark veins were completely gone. The curse, he whispered. It's gone. I can feel it. It's really gone. Luna smiled weakly. Told you we'd fight it together. Morgana stared at them in disbelief. Impossible. Impossible. It's over, Morgana, a new voice said. Sebastian emerged from the trees with 20 pack warriors. We followed Victoria here. We heard everything. Morgana tried to flee, but Sebastian's warriors surrounded her. Her magic was depleted from the attack on Kieran. Without it, she was powerless. Take her to the holding cells, Sebastian ordered. The council will decide her punishment. Victoria was also captured, still unconscious from Luna's defensive blast. As the warriors led the prisoners away, Kieran pulled Luna close. You saved me, he said, wonder in his voice. You actually saved me. We saved each other, Luna corrected. He cupped her face in his hands. You said you loved me. Luna blushed. I did. I do. Even though you're arrogant and stubborn, Anne. He kissed her. Not the tentative, uncertain touch she'd imagined, but a deep, claiming kiss that made her toes curl. He kissed her like a man who'd been drowning and finally found air. When they finally broke apart, both breathless, Kieran rested his forehead against hers. I love you, Luna. I think I started falling for you the moment you argued with me at that first dinner. You weren't afraid of me. You saw past the monster to the man underneath. There never was a monster, Luna said softly. Just a wounded man too scared to let anyone in. Will you stay with me? Not because of the contract, but because you want to? There's nowhere else I'd rather be. They kissed again under the moonlight, and Luna felt something click into place. This was where she belonged. Not because she was bought or contracted or needed. But because she chose it. Because she chose him. And he chose her back. Part 3, Love's Redemption. The Aftermath. The next morning, the pack gathered in the Great Hall. News of Morgana's capture and the curse being broken had spread quickly. Kieran stood before his pack, Luna beside him. For the first time in years, he looked truly at peace. My pack, he began, his voice strong. For too long, I've ruled you through fear and distance. I told myself it was for your protection. But the truth is, I was afraid. Afraid of losing people I cared about. Afraid of becoming my father. The crowd murmured. No one had ever heard their alpha speak so openly. Luna showed me that strength isn't about building walls, it's about having the courage to tear them down. She saved my life, not just from the curse, but from myself. He turned to Luna, taking her hand. She came here as a debt payment, treated as property. But she is so much more. She is brave, wise, and kind. She saw the good in me when I couldn't see it myself. And I love her. Gasps echoed through the hall. Their cold, distant alpha was declaring his love publicly? Therefore, Kieran continued, I am dissolving our contract marriage and asking Luna to be my true mate. Not because of obligation or politics, but because I choose her. And I hope she chooses me. He knelt before her, in front of the entire pack. Luna Sinclair, will you accept my mate Mark? Will you be my Luna, my partner, my equal in all things? Luna's eyes filled with tears. Yes. 1,000 times yes. The hall erupted in cheers. Even those who had doubted her were won over by the genuine love in their alpha's eyes. Kieran stood and pulled Luna into his arms, kissing her deeply as the pack celebrated around them. But their happiness was interrupted by a commotion at the door. A messenger burst in, breathless and bleeding. Alpha. The Crimson Dawn pack is under attack. Luna's heart stopped. My family. Racing against time. Within minutes, Kieran had assembled a rescue team. Luna insisted on coming despite his protests. They're my family, she said firmly. I'm not staying behind. They shifted into wolf form and ran. Luna's wolf was smaller than Kieran's massive black beast, but she was fast. They covered the distance to Crimson Dawn territory in half the usual time. What they found was chaos. Rogues attacked from all sides, overwhelming the small pack's defenses. Luna saw her father fighting desperately, bleeding from multiple wounds. Father, she cried. Alpha Marcus looked up in shock. Luna? What are you doing here? Saving you, apparently. She shifted back to human form, her healing power already activating. White light spread from her hands, healing wounded warriors as she passed. Kieran and his warriors tore through the rogues with brutal efficiency. But there were so many attackers. Too many. This isn't a random attack, Sebastian shouted. Someone organized this. Luna's blood ran cold. She remembered Victoria's father wanted to take over Kieran's pack.